Sir, can you marry my mother for $1?
The lobby went silent, as if someone had pressed pause on the world. Every footstep, every rustle of the air, even the soft hum of the air conditioner seemed to vanish. A tiny voice had dared to speak words no one expected. A little girl, no more than 7, stood with her back straight, clutching her mother's hand so tightly that her knuckles were white. Her dark eyes, wide and unwavering, were fixed on the man in the crisp white suit across the room. The billionaire CEO, known across Nigeria for his ruthless business deals and icy demeanor. The man blinked once, twice, then froze completely. Mr. Adedayo, owner of multi-million-dollar companies and luxury hotels, who had spent decades building walls around himself, was suddenly defenseless. His world of contracts, negotiations, and boardroom dominance had been shattered by the blunt, innocent audacity of a child. $1, sir. The girl repeated, her voice slightly trembling but firm. That's all it takes. My mother needs love. She cries alone at night. She prays for someone to love her. Please, just say yes. Her mother, standing behind her, felt her face flush with embarrassment. She bent slightly toward her daughter, whispering sharply, Chioma, don't say that. But the little girl's grip only tightened, as if to say, I won't let go until this happens. The billionaire shifted his weight, unsure whether to laugh or storm away. He had encountered countless requests for money, sponsorship, and favors, but never this. This was personal, vulnerable, heartbreaking. Chioma, the girl, tilted her head and added, I know you might think I'm crazy, but if you marry my mother, I promise I'll take care of you like a son. I'll make sure she's happy, and you'll be happy too. I know it. The words hung in the air, electric and unnerving. Mr. Adedayo's chest tightened. He had never been faced with such raw honesty. This little girl, with no awareness of social rules or etiquette, had spoken a truth he couldn't ignore. He cleared his throat. I don't know what to say, he stammered. But before he could continue, a sudden movement at the entrance of the lobby caught everyone's attention. A man in a dark suit had just walked in. His eyes immediately locked on the mother. The mother froze, her breath caught in her throat. The little girl didn't understand, but she noticed the tension and instinctively stepped a bit closer to her mother. You, the man's voice was low, shaky, yet sharp. It can't be you here, after all these years. The lobby's atmosphere thickened, the murmurs of other guests fading to nothing. The billionaire, Mr. Adedayo, instinctively straightened his back. Something about this man, someone from the mother's past, made the hairs on his arms rise. He was used to controlling situations. Now, he felt like a powerless observer of a drama that was unfolding far faster than he could understand. Chioma's mother, Mrs. Oluchi, swallowed hard, trying to steady her racing heart. Memories she had buried for years surfaced. Mistakes, promises, regrets. Her past had just walked back into her life at the most impossible moment right in front of her daughter and a man who could, in one decision, change their lives forever. The little girl's voice, breaking through the silence, was both piercing and innocent. Mama, who is he? Are you scared? Don't be scared. He can't hurt us. Please, I want you to be happy. Mrs. Oluchi's eyes filled with tears. She looked down at her daughter and then at the stranger. Her heart thudded painfully. She hadn't expected her past to return like this, especially not in such a public, unavoidable way. Mr. Adedayo's thoughts raced. Normally decisive and cold, he was now conflicted. The child's request, simple and audacious, collided with the tension in the room. One part of him wanted to dismiss it, to walk away. But another part, a small, unexpected part, stirred with curiosity and concern. What makes you think love can be bought with $1? He asked finally, his voice calm, but his eyes studying the girl. Chioma's lips pressed together in determination. Because sometimes money can help make people see what is right in front of them. And if it can't, then we'll find another way. Her sincerity was disarming. People in the lobby leaned in slightly, captivated by the little girl's courage. The scene had transformed into a story unfolding in real time. The innocent proposing a solution to the adult world's problems, a mother caught between past and present, and a billionaire forced to confront feelings he had long buried. The mysterious man in the dark suit took another step forward. He spoke again, this time louder, revealing more of the tension. Oluchi, you left everything behind. You think you can just walk into my life like nothing happened. The mother's knees nearly gave way, but Chioma held her hand tight. Mama, you'll be okay. We have to be strong. I believe in you. Mr. Adedayo's sharp eyes shifted between the mother and the intruder. He could feel the undercurrent of secrets, old betrayals, and unspoken truths. The lobby, which had been a place of luxury and calm, now felt like a battlefield. Then, without warning, Chioma's small hand tugged at Mr. Adedayo's sleeve. Sir, please, can you just say yes? For my mother, for me. And in that instant, everything changed. Not just for the billionaire, but for everyone in the lobby. The stakes had been raised beyond a child's innocent request. Secrets would surface, hearts would be tested, and decisions made in this room would ripple far beyond its marble walls. The mysterious man from the mother's past has returned, hinting at secrets that could destroy her chance at happiness. Mr. Adedayo's calm facade is cracking, and Chioma's $1 request may trigger events that nobody saw coming. The lobby was heavy with tension. Mr. Adedayo, the billionaire, remained rooted to the polished floor, his mind racing faster than his eyes could follow the drama unfolding. Chioma, the little girl, still clutched her mother's hand, oblivious to the storm brewing. But the mysterious man standing at the entrance, tall, sharp-eyed, and familiar, was no ordinary stranger. He was a ghost from Oluchi's past, a past she had fought hard to leave behind. You, the man, Mr. Namdi, finally said, his voice low and sharp. You have no idea what you've walked into. Oluchi's heart pounded. She hadn't seen Namdi in over 10 years, not since the night she had run, leaving behind unfinished promises and heartbreak. She had tried to rebuild her life quietly, hiding in the shadows of Lagos, working multiple jobs, and raising her daughter alone. But now, here he was, standing in the most public place imaginable, threatening to pull everything she had built apart in a single glance. Chioma tilted her head, confused. Mama, who is he? Oluchi swallowed hard. Her mouth went dry. He's someone from long ago. He's not important anymore, baby. Namdi's eyes flicked to Chioma, then back to Oluchi. There was a storm in his gaze, a mix of anger, hurt, and something darker, something that made Oluchi tremble. Not important? After everything we shared, you dare call me unimportant? Chioma's small fingers clenched her mother's hand tighter, sensing the tension. Mama, please, don't be afraid. I'm here. We're together. Mr. Adedayo observed silently, his sharp mind analyzing every micro-expression, every subtle movement. He had seen greed, deceit, and betrayal in the boardrooms of the world, but this was something entirely different. The intensity of old emotions colliding with new possibilities, it was raw, unpredictable. He had never been part of something like this, and yet he felt an unusual pull, as if fate itself had inserted him into this story for a reason he couldn't yet understand. Oluchi, Namdi's voice softened slightly, though the anger remained. Why did you run? 10 years. You've kept this child, hidden from me, and now you appear in front of a stranger, expecting to be safe, to live your life without consequences? Oluchi's breath caught. She had built walls around her past, convincing herself she had escaped. But it seemed her past had been waiting, patient, silent, and now it had found her. I had no choice, she said quietly, her voice barely audible over the hum of the lobby. I had to protect Chioma. I had to survive. I had to make a life for her. Chioma tugged at her mother's sleeve. Mama, is he going to hurt us? Namdi's eyes softened, almost imperceptibly, at the child's innocence. He knelt slightly to meet her gaze, though his voice was still heavy with emotion. Chioma, I am not here to hurt you, but some truths cannot be ignored. Mr. Adedayo shifted, uneasy. He had expected a simple, shocking request, a little girl asking him to marry her mother. He had not expected a decade-old love triangle, secrets, and unresolved betrayal to explode around him. His instinct screamed caution, but a strange curiosity drew him closer. Perhaps this was what he had been missing in life. Raw human stories that money could never buy. Chioma's voice piped up again. Sir, you don't have to say yes now. Just don't be mean to my mother. The billionaire's chest tightened. He looked down at the girl. Her trust in him was simple, pure, and it made the complicated world of adults feel painfully small. Could one decision, one yes, change the trajectory of all these lives? Namdi straightened, his eyes burning into Aluchi's. You left me thinking I was nothing, but you made me nothing only for a while. Now, you expect to hide your past from the world and from me and pretend it never existed. Aluchi's knees felt weak. She had hoped to never face him again. She had hoped time would erase the past, but here it was, raw and accusing. She thought of Chioma, standing small yet fierce by her side. She thought of the little girl's belief that love could be bought with $1. And in that moment, Oluchi realized something. Her daughter's innocence might force the truth into the light. Mr. Adedayo cleared his throat. His voice, calm yet commanding, drew attention back to him. Gentlemen, ladies, perhaps this situation needs clarity. Chioma looked up, her eyes bright. Sir, do you think maybe you could help my mama be happy? Aluchi's breath caught at the sincerity in her daughter's voice. She wanted to shake her head, to tell her it was impossible, that life wasn't that simple. But then she saw the glimmer in Mr. Adedayo's eyes. It wasn't amusement. It wasn't impatience. It was possibility. Namdi's gaze narrowed. And who are you to involve yourself in this? A stranger? Mr. Adedayo smiled faintly, a hint of mischief hiding beneath his calm exterior. Perhaps I am a stranger, but sometimes strangers are exactly what people need to change their lives. Chioma clapped her hands softly. See, Mama, he might help us. Oluchi's eyes filled with tears. She looked at the child, and then at the two men who represented her past and her future. Her heart was a storm of fear, hope, and confusion. Could she trust a billionaire who had just been asked to marry her for $1? Could she confront Namdi, whose presence reminded her of old wounds? And most importantly, was she ready for her daughter's simple wish to become reality? Namdi's voice was a low rumble. This isn't over, Oluchi. The past doesn't vanish. It waits. And it has returned to claim its due. Mr. Adedayo's eyes hardened slightly. Perhaps, but sometimes the past can be rewritten. And sometimes the future can begin, with a child's courage. Chioma tugged again at her mother's sleeve. Mama, please, we can be happy. I know it. I just know it. Oluchi looked down at the girl, feeling the weight of responsibility and love collide inside her. In that moment, she realized that Chioma's boldness had created an opportunity, a chance to face the past, embrace the present, and maybe, just maybe, accept a future she hadn't dared imagine. And as the three adults stared at one another, each with their secrets, regrets, and desires, the lobby felt suspended in time. Outside, the city moved on, oblivious. But inside, every heartbeat counted. Every glance, every word, every choice could tip the balance toward happiness or catastrophe. Then, unexpectedly, Chioma stepped forward. Sir, please, marry my mother. Just $1. That's all. Please. The billionaire's calm demeanor cracked, just slightly, at the audacity. And at that moment, a hidden envelope fell from Namdi's coat pocket, landing at Oluchi's feet. She picked it up slowly, recognizing the handwriting immediately. Her hands shook. Inside were photographs, letters, and a secret she had long tried to bury. Her eyes widened. Chioma gasped. Mr. Adedayo leaned forward, and Namdi's jaw tightened. The lobby had gone from tense to explosive. The $1 request had triggered a storm no one could have predicted. And at that very moment, every life in that room was about to change forever. The envelope contains a shocking secret from Oluchi's past that could destroy her chance at happiness. Mr. Tensei, Adedayo is emotionally invested, Namdi is threatening, and Chioma's innocent $1 request may have unlocked a storm that no one is prepared for. Oluchi's hands trembled as she stared at the envelope. Its edges were sharp, crisp, as though Namdi had planned for this moment years ago. She hesitated, her mind racing. Inside lay her past letters, photographs, proof of choices she had tried to forget. Every heartbeat felt like a drum in the silent lobby. Chioma, unaware of the gravity, tugged at her mother's sleeve. Mama, what is it? Oluchi forced a smile, though her throat felt tight. It's something from long ago, baby. Something we have to see. Namdi's eyes didn't leave her. His expression was unreadable, but there was a tension there that made the air thick. Mr. Adedeo, standing to the side, observed everything quietly, his sharp mind noting every twitch, every glance, every small sign of fear or deceit. Finally, with a deep breath, Oluchi opened the envelope. Inside were photographs. One showed a younger version of herself smiling, carefree, holding the hand of a man who looked exactly like Namdi. Another photograph was of a small child with dark eyes that mirrored Chioma's own. And then, letters. Letters, addressed to her in a script she recognized immediately. The letters were confessions, apologies, and pleas she had once received but never opened. Chioma leaned over, her small fingers brushing the papers. "Mama, who is this?" Oluchi's eyes blurred with tears. This is Namdi. He was someone very important once." Namdi stepped closer, his voice barely a whisper, yet heavy with emotion. "Yes, Oluchi, I was. And now, after 10 years, I see the life you tried to build without me. I see the child we never had together. I see everything." The lobby fell silent again, the weight of the past pressing down on everyone. Mr. Adedayo's eyes narrowed. He had expected a shocking request from a child, but he had not expected a decade-old love, betrayal, and secrets about a hidden child to appear in the middle of a luxury hotel lobby. Chioma looked between the two adults, confused but persistent. "Mama, sir, why are they both looking so serious? Can't we just be happy?" Her words, innocent and raw, pierced the tension like sunlight through storm clouds. For a brief moment, everyone paused, caught off guard by the child's clarity. Oluchi took a deep breath. "Chioma, there are things about the past, about me, that you don't understand yet. Things that are complicated." Namdi's gaze softened slightly, but anger remained beneath the surface. "Complicated. Oluchi, you ran. You left me, our plans, everything. And now you expect to just continue as if nothing happened." Oluchi's hands shook as she held the letters. "I ran to protect Chioma, to survive, to make sure she had a life. I had no choice." The billionaire finally spoke, his voice calm but heavy with authority. "Miss Oluchi, sometimes the past cannot be ignored, but neither can the present, and sometimes the future depends on courage." Chioma, picking up on his tone, tugged his sleeve. "Sir, please, help us, please." Mr. Adedayo's mind raced. One decision could change everything. One word could set a course for a family's future. But before he could speak, Namdi reached out, his hand brushing against the photographs, his eyes locking onto Oluchi's. "You need to be honest," he said, low and firm. "With me, with her daughter, with yourself." Oluchi's eyes darted to Chioma, who was watching, unaware but intuitive. Her heart ached at the thought of revealing the truth, but she knew the child had already seen more than anyone realized. Chioma's $1 request had forced the past into the open. With a trembling hand, Oluchi began to speak. "Chioma, the man in the photographs, he was once someone I loved very much. He's your father's closest friend, or at least he was meant to be part of our family long ago. I left because..." Her voice broke, but she steadied herself. "Because I had to protect you. Because life made me choose survival over love." Chioma gasped softly. "Papa?" Namdi's jaw tightened. "Not yet. You're not ready to call me that, Chioma. But yes, I am connected to you. And yes, I have come back because some debts, some truths, demand attention." Mr. Adedayo stepped forward, his voice now commanding the room. "Enough. All of this, the past, the secrets, the threats. Chioma's request is simple. She asked for $1. One act of courage. One chance at happiness. That is all she deserves right now. Not complications, not old grudges, just honesty and action." Namdi's eyes flicked to the billionaire, then back to Oluchi. "And you? Would you allow a stranger to step into this? To pretend he could replace what I was?" Oluchi shook her head slowly. "It's not about replacing. It's about moving forward. About Chioma. About hope." Chioma, sensing the weight of the conversation, stepped forward boldly. "Sir, please, for me. $1. That's all it takes to make Mama happy. And if you love her, please help her." The lobby seemed to hold its breath. Staff froze mid-step. Guests whispered quietly among themselves. The child's voice had cut through the complexity of decades of secrets, betrayal, and fear. Her innocence demanded action. Mr. Adedayo's eyes softened as he knelt slightly, bringing himself to Chioma's level. "All right," he said quietly, his tone gentle but firm. $1. But only if everyone here is honest and ready for what comes next. Namdi's eyes narrowed. "And what, pray tell, comes next?" Oluchi's heart raced. "The truth, everything. No more hiding, no more running." Chioma's small hand reached out for her mother, and together they stood in the center of the lobby, a triangle of past, present, and future. The billionaire reached into his pocket and pulled out a single crisp dollar bill. He placed it gently in Chioma's hand. Chioma's eyes lit up, her small face radiant with hope. "Thank you, sir, thank you." But as she turned to show her mother, Namdi stepped closer, holding a small, sealed envelope. "Not everything can be fixed with $1, he said, his voice low but menacing. "Some truths demand choices that might hurt more than they heal." Oluchi's stomach sank. Mr. Adedayo frowned. Chioma looked up, confused, clutching her dollar tightly. And in that instant, the lobby felt smaller, the tension unbearable. The past had returned fully, and the storm was only beginning. The envelope Namdi carries contains another layer of secrets, decisions, betrayals, and hidden truths that could shatter the fragile hope Chioma's $1 request has just ignited. Happiness feels close, but danger lurks in the shadows, waiting to strike. The lobby was silent. Not a single sound could be heard except the soft hum of the air conditioner and the faint shuffle of shoes on marble. Namdi's hand rested on the small, sealed envelope he had carried since entering, his grip firm, almost possessive. Oluchi's heart pounded in her chest. She knew that whatever was inside could change everything. Chioma, clutching her single dollar like a talisman, looked between the two adults, sensing the tension even if she didn't fully understand it. "Mama, what is inside that envelope?" she asked softly. Oluchi shook her head, her eyes brimming with tears. "Chioma, some things are complicated. Sometimes the truth can hurt before it heals." Mr. Adedayo, standing close but silent, studied both of them carefully. He had been drawn into the unfolding drama, not by business or power, but by the raw honesty, the human stakes, and the tiny girl's belief that $1 could change lives. He could feel it. This moment would define everyone here, past, present, and future. Namdi finally spoke, his voice low and deliberate. "Oluchi, the time for hiding is over. It's time to face everything. Are you ready?" Oluchi swallowed hard, her throat tight. She had hoped to protect Chioma from this for just a little longer. But now, with the child's bright eyes on her, and with Mr. Adedayo watching, she realized she had no choice. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm ready." Slowly, Namdi handed her the envelope. She took it with trembling hands, breaking the seal and pulling out the papers inside. Her eyes widened, her chest heaving. The first photograph was of a younger Oluchi, holding a small baby, her expression one of both pride and fear. But what made her gasp aloud was the note pinned to the photo. In familiar handwriting, it read, "If anything happens to me, take care of her. She is yours now, fully and completely." Oluchi's hands shook violently. She turned to Chioma, who looked back, her eyes wide, innocent and trusting. "Chioma, this isn't just a letter. It's about your real father." Chioma's mouth opened, but no words came. She just blinked, unsure if she had heard correctly. Then Oluchi pulled out another photograph, this one of a man, younger and smiling. The resemblance was unmistakable. "Chioma, this is your father," she said, her voice cracking. He wanted to be in our lives, but he couldn't." Mr. Adedayo's brow furrowed. He had expected drama, but this was something entirely different. This was real, raw, and painful, a secret that had shaped the lives of 2 generations. Namdi stepped closer. "Oluchi, you should have told me. 10 years of keeping her from me, from him, from everything. Why?" Oluchi's voice trembled. "I had no choice. Your life, my life. I couldn't risk Chioma's safety. I had to protect her. And now," she paused, swallowing her fear. "Now, the past has caught up with us. Chioma, sensing the gravity, clutched her mother's hand tightly. "Mama, will everything be okay?" The words, simple and fragile, made Oluchi's chest tighten. Could everything truly be okay after 10 years of secrets, lies, and betrayal? She glanced at Mr. Adedayo. He was calm, measured, but there was something in his eyes, something that said he understood that this moment was bigger than any dollar, bigger than any business deal. Mr. Adedayo finally spoke, his voice steady and deliberate. "Oluchi, Chioma, life is messy, full of secrets, choices, and mistakes. But courage is what allows us to face it all. And $1, he paused, glancing at the child. $1 can sometimes remind us of what's truly important. The choice to act, to care, to risk. That's what changes everything." Chioma's small hand lifted the single dollar she had received, holding it like it could somehow fix the past. "See, Mama? He helped us." Oluchi smiled faintly through her tears. "Yes, baby, he did." Namdi's gaze softened slightly, though the tension was far from gone. "And now, we must decide what to do with these truths. Some of them cannot be undone. But maybe they can be faced together." Suddenly, Chioma's eyes fell on a photograph tucked behind the letters. Her small finger pointed. "Mama, who is that?" Oluchi froze. She hadn't expected that photograph to be seen so soon. It was a picture of a man, older but familiar, the billionaire himself, Mr. Adedayo, standing next to a young Oluchi at a charity event years ago. She realized, with a jolt, that her life had brushed against his before, long before this lobby, long before the $1 request. Mr. Adedayo's lips pressed into a thin line. "Ah, that explains why your path and mine have crossed, and why fate seems to be so insistent." Namdi's eyes narrowed. "So, you knew her before all this? And now you're expected to step into her life?" "Yes," Mr. Adedayo admitted. "But not because I planned it. Because life, and a child's courage, demanded it." Chioma's face lit up. "See? I knew it. I knew you were supposed to help Mama." But Namdi shook his head, frustration and something darker flickering in his expression. "This is not a game, Chioma. There are consequences. Lives, reputations, hearts, all on the line. And $1 doesn't fix that." Oluchi's heart pounded. Could she truly trust either of these men? One carried the weight of the past, the other the promise of a new future, but both could shatter her fragile hope. And then, without warning, a staff member accidentally knocked over a vase, shattering it across the marble floor. The loud crash echoed through the lobby, breaking the tense focus for a moment. But in that split second, Oluchi realized something terrifying. Namdi had been hiding something else in that envelope, something he hadn't revealed yet. Something that could undo everything. She looked up, panic rising. "What else is there?" Namdi's expression darkened. "That is something you're not ready for yet, but it will come. Soon." Chioma, clutching her dollar, looked from her mother to Mr. Adedayo to Namdi. "Mama, sir, please, just let us be happy." Mr. Adedayo stepped forward, placing a reassuring hand on Oluchi's shoulder. "Chioma, happiness is a choice, and sometimes it begins with courage, even if the road ahead is full of storms." Oluchi nodded slowly, her chest tightened, her mind racing with fears and possibilities. Could she trust Mr. Adedayo? Could she confront Namdi's secrets? And most importantly, could she give her daughter the happiness she so desperately wanted? The lobby, once luxurious and calm, had transformed into a battlefield of emotions, past mistakes, hidden truths, and the fragile hope of a little girl. And as Chioma held her dollar tightly, the adults realized that one small act of courage had unleashed a storm none of them were fully prepared for. The envelope contains another shocking secret. Namdi hasn't revealed one that could destroy Oluchi's chance at happiness, test Mr. Adedayo's resolve, and threaten Chioma's innocence. The next choice they make will decide whether love, truth, or betrayal wins. The lobby was tense, thick with the kind of silence that made hearts pound. Oluchi's hands shook as she clutched Chioma's small fingers, holding them like a lifeline. The dollar bill in the child's hand gleamed under the chandelier light, a fragile symbol of hope in a room filled with secrets, fear, and old wounds. Namdi stood a few steps away, his dark eyes locked on Oluchi. The envelope he had brought had already revealed some truths, but he still held back the most dangerous secret, the one that could shatter everything. Mr. Adedayo, the billionaire who had been drawn into this tangled web by the sheer audacity of a child, observed silently, calculating, weighing every word, every expression, every possible outcome. Chioma's small voice broke the tension. "Mama, sir, please, let's just be happy. I know you can help us." Oluchi swallowed, tears streaming down her cheeks. She looked at the child, her heart heavy with guilt, love, and fear. "Chioma, happiness sometimes comes with risks. Sometimes it demands courage bigger than anything you can imagine." Namdi's voice was sharp, cutting through the air like a knife. "Oluchi, the truth I have yet to reveal. It's about Chioma, about the choices you made and the consequences you didn't foresee." Oluchi's stomach dropped. Her heart thudded painfully in her chest. What are you talking about?" Namdi took a slow step forward, then stopped. He held out another paper, this one folded and sealed with a mark she recognized instantly, the signature of a lawyer she had trusted years ago. "This contains the legal truth about Chioma's father, about who can claim her, who has rights, and who can interfere with her life. One wrong move, and everything you hoped for could be taken away." Chioma looked at the paper, confused. "Mama, what does that mean?" Oluchi knelt down, holding her daughter's shoulders. "It means we have to be very careful. It means the decisions we make now could change everything forever." Mr. Adedayo finally stepped forward, his voice calm but commanding. "Oluchi, Chioma, life is a series of choices, some easy, some hard. But courage, real courage, is doing what's right even when it's terrifying." The little girl held her dollar tightly, as if it had the power to protect them all. "Sir, please, just make Mama happy." Mr. Adedayo's eyes softened. He looked at Oluchi. "Do you trust me?" Oluchi hesitated. Trust was complicated. She had been hurt before. She had hidden from the past for a decade. But when she looked at Mr. Adedayo, she saw something different, something honest, something unafraid of the storms outside the polished lobby walls. I think I do," she whispered. Mr. Adedayo smiled faintly. "Then let's make a choice. Together." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a second envelope. The lobby seemed to hold its breath. Inside was a simple contract, an agreement that could ensure Oluchi and Chioma's protection, legally, emotionally, and socially. But it also carried another promise, a chance to rebuild their lives with honesty and trust. Namdi's jaw tightened. "And you think a contract can solve years of secrets? You, stranger, you have no idea what's coming." Mr. Adedayo's eyes were steady, unwavering. "I don't claim to know everything, but I do know this. One child's courage, one small audacious request can force adults to confront the truth and make real choices. That's what matters." Oluchi's chest ached. She looked at her daughter, who smiled bravely, dollar in hand. "Chioma, are you ready to give this a try?" Chioma nodded. "Yes, Mama. $1, that's all it takes." The billionaire extended his hand to Oluchi. "Will you trust me with this? With both of you?" Her heart trembled. Could she take that leap? Could she trust someone she barely knew, someone who had been drawn into their lives by chance, by fate, and by a child's belief in magic? "Yes," she whispered, placing her hand in his. Namdi's eyes softened, though the storm of the past was far from gone. He held the final document in his hand, something he had kept hidden for years, a revelation that could change everything. Slowly, deliberately, he placed it on the table. "The truth has to be faced. Oluchi, you cannot escape it anymore." Oluchi's hands shook as she unfolded the paper. And then, she froze. The revelation inside was astonishing. A legal claim she had never known, a financial arrangement she hadn't anticipated, and a family secret that explained her daughter's very existence. Chioma leaned over, her small voice trembling. "Mama, what is it?" Oluchi swallowed, tears streaming. It's everything. The reason why some people left, why some things were hidden, why I had to run. But now we know the truth, and we can choose what happens next." Mr. Adedayo looked at both of them, his expression soft but firm. Now, it's your choice to face the past, embrace the present, and protect the future. $1, a small act, has brought us here, but the next step requires courage. Chioma's hand held tightly to the dollar, her eyes shining. Mama, please, let's be happy. We can do it together. Oluchi took a deep breath. She looked at Namdi. You need to trust me. Trust that I'll do what's right for Chioma, for both of us. Namdi's expression softened, but there was still a weight in his eyes. I will. But know this, Oluchi, secrets, lies and choices made in fear, they always catch up. You have to be ready. Mr. Adedayo smiled faintly, reaching out again. Then let's begin. Not with money, not with contracts, not with fear, but with honesty, courage, and the choice to embrace the future. The lobby, once tense, now seemed charged with a strange energy. Past, present, and future converged in that moment. The child's audacity, her belief that $1 could change everything, had forced everyone into action. Forced everyone to confront their fears, their regrets, and their desires. Oluchi held Chioma close, feeling the weight of the past lift slightly. She looked at Mr. Adedayo and for the first time felt a glimmer of hope, a real, tangible chance at happiness. Namdi placed a hand on her shoulder. Then, let's move forward. Together. For her. Chioma smiled, clutching her dollar, unaware of the magnitude of what had just happened. See, Mama, I told you $1 could do magic. Mr. Adedayo chuckled softly. Yes, Chioma. $1 and a lot of courage can do more than anyone imagines. Oluchi looked at the three of them, the past, the present, and the hope for the future, and whispered softly, Then, let's be happy. Together. And in that moment, the lobby, once heavy with tension and secrets, felt lighter. The storm had passed, leaving only the fragile, radiant glow of courage, love, and the belief that even the smallest act can change everything.